My identical twin sister was ruining both our lives, so I got back at her in a way only a twin ever could. My sister and I may look the same, but we couldn't be different. She had her first boyfriend at 12. I had my first at 18 in college. She dropped out of high school to follow a boy. I graduated near the top of my class and went to college. She is a hairdresser, and I am a physicist. I love my sister. I want the best for her. But once I realized all those years ago that she was ruining my life, I took my future into my own hands. The decisions we both made were our own. But something you may or may not know about being a twin is that people close to you still can't always tell you apart. So they assume they are interacting with the bad one. Over and over as a kid, I realized that I was being punished for stuff I did not do. My sister got a DUI when she had her learner's permit. She wasn't even supposed to be driving without an adult in the car. A boy got her drunk. She got pulled over, and the police officer who pulled her over happened to be my dad's friend. He tried, but couldn't pull any strings. He had to bring her in or he would have gotten in trouble. I heard later that he was ignored that year for a promotion or something because he didn't take a DUI seriously enough. Him and my dad stopped hanging out so much. He was clearly peeved. I saw him driving his cruiser while riding my bike, smiled and waved, and he rolled down his window, scoffed, said, "Not surprised to see you riding a bike after effing DUI at 16 years young." He peeled off. I was shocked, stunned. I cried all the way home. That wasn't effing me. And that kind of stuff happened to me all the time too. My sister dropped out of high school. The amount of disapproving frowns from my friends' moms in the parking lot after church drove me insane. A classmate that my sister had hooked up with came up and kissed me forcefully on the lips without asking. They all knew we were twins. I had long hair. My sister had short hair. She has a freckle on her right cheek. I have a tattoo of a flower on my thigh. There are big tells. How hard is it? Anyway. Deep breath. That was all a long time ago. The story I came to tell came a little later before I had moved to the other side of the country. My sister had a kid. The father was unsurprisingly a deadbeat, an unemployed electrician who spent all his money on cigarettes and buying girls drinks at the bar. So it didn't take long for my sister to end up back home. She showed up on our doorstep cradling a newborn with a black eye. My parents immediately took them in. They were worried sick. She was still only 18 at the time. For a little while, we were a family again. Then my sister started to disappear for days at a time. She was going to the bar again. We live in a small town. Everybody knows everybody. I don't know how she got away with it. She abandoned her kid. Assumed my parents and I would pick up the slack. My parents and I were raising her kid for her. We were tired. My sister was back to her old self, behaving incredibly selfishly without thinking about how her decisions impact those around her. But I was just a few weeks out from leaving for college. I will admit that I was only thinking about myself too, counting down the days. I couldn't wait to get out of this dysfunctional situation I was in at home. I felt bad for my parents, but I couldn't help but feel excited to enter my next chapter. But then the day came where all HLL broke loose. My parents told me that they couldn't pay for college anymore. They said with the added bills from raising my sister's child, they wouldn't be able to swing it. They were deeply sorry. My world was turned upside down in a day. My sister's crappy life choices had effed me over more than I could have imagined, and she wasn't even around for me to yell at her. She was at the bar getting hit on by a bunch of creeps. I cried forever, applied to scholarships, got some help, but it wasn't enough. We were just too close to the start of the semester. It was hopeless.